Hey everybody, this morning I'm in Fishers, Indiana, specifically at the yard at Fishers District on a really beautiful spring morning. And it's a little bit cool in the shade right now, but it's gonna be a pretty awesome day here. So you will, a little bit later today, see a lot of people outside in this particular area. And I've definitely heard people talk about Fishers and how walkable it's becoming. But there is a little bit of subjectivity to that. So we're gonna talk about the walkability of this particular area today in this video, so stay tuned. Hey everybody, I'm Jason Compton with the Compton Home Group. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about Fishers, Indiana, downtown Fishers, Indiana, or anywhere in the Indianapolis metro, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap the little bell so you're notified every time we do a new video, each and every week. And we have people reaching out to us from all over the country with questions about Fishers, Indiana, Indianapolis, Indiana, or any of the surrounding suburbs. So if you have questions at all about any of those places, then don't hesitate to reach out any ways you know how. We'll always have your back with those questions, and we'll certainly have your back when it comes time for you to make your move to the Indy Metro. So again, today I am in Fishers District, and it's specifically the yard at Fishers District, which is a really super cool area. So it is very walkable, and the reason this place was built is because Fishers, as it was growing, it was becoming very residential, just a lot of houses, and it didn't really have for quite a long time sort of that cultural heart, that place, that gathering place for people that live in the city, and not really just in Fishers alone, but even outside of Fishers. So the other problem with Fishers is that it really had a pretty big lack of good places to eat, restaurants and unique places. And this place hasn't been open all that long, and only really a few years at this point, not even really that long at the time this video is being made, and it is still really under development. Every single building and every single space is not completely full just yet. And I'm gonna step out here into the sun, so probably gonna fry my eyes. Whew, yeah, it's a beautiful morning. So it's still being pushed along, which is absolutely fantastic. It's got some really unique places, and it's certainly really, really popular. I know my wife and I, we don't live in Fishers anymore. We used to. We moved closer to my wife's job, but we still come here whenever we get a night away, when somebody's watching the kids and it's just she and I. But you can also bring your kids to several of the places around here. Not all of them. You know, it's a little bit more adult in some of the places, kind of like the place right here behind me, the Fishers Test Kitchen, which also has one of the Sun King breweries inside, or tasting rooms inside, and it's a super cool place, really, really fun. But you can come here and park and certainly walk around and go from one place to another. So if you, let's say, had dinner over there at 101 Beer Kitchen or Tavern Kitchen, or you had lunch or brunch or running into a tree, breakfast at Rise, you could walk to another place if you wanted to do something in sequence, or you wanted to eat someplace and then come over here to the Test Kitchen and the Sun King tasting room and have a beer or something like that. You definitely could. So you can park in one place and walk to all the others. But this particular part of Fishers, if you were to live in this area, there really isn't an option around here to directly walk from where you live to this place, not unless you're in an apartment nearby. And honestly, in this particular area, there aren't that many places for that. So if you're living in a townhome or a condo, single family home, you just don't have any options here. So while yes, it is kind of walkable, it's still something that you're gonna have to drive to. And if you live way out east in Fishers, let's say near Oleo Road or way north, you're gonna definitely have to drive here in order to experience all of this. There's a hotel, big Hyatt hotel back here. So if you're staying in town and you're at the hotel, then great, you can walk out of your hotel and boom, you've got the whole yard here at Fishers District right behind you. But just to give you some perspective as to where this is, the Ikea, which is very well known now in Fishers, is just right off here to the west. You can kind of see the blue building in the background there. So it's pretty walkable from here. And then Top Golf is also right up here at 116th and I-69 on the northeast side. And you can maybe see some of the poles for the nets just over the top of my head over there. So those things are relatively walkable if you're parking in this location. But the big thing about Fishers is that it's super, super family friendly, and the biggest family friendly part of this downtown area would be over near the amphitheater, the nickel plate amphitheater. So if you had plans to, let's say, come here for dinner and you were with the kids maybe, or maybe not, and you wanted to go and check out one of the concerts that they have there on the weekends, like on a Friday night, or maybe a Tuesday or a Wednesday, because they've got concerts a lot of the days during the week in the summer. So if you want to do that and then walk over to it, that is going to be really brutal to do. So you'd have to walk north up to 116th Street here, and then go west over to where the nickel plate amphitheater is and the nickel plate district is. And while that is walkable, I mean, it's not all that far as distance is concerned, but it's just not something that you're probably going to do just because of the traffic, having to go down 116th Street, which is exceptionally busy right there at that intersection where it crosses I-69. And then of course you got the interstate there too. So lots of noise, lots of traffic, and just not very pedestrian friendly. I mean, I've seen people walking on the sidewalk there. They do have a sidewalk, and I've seen people ride their bikes there, but it's not something you're gonna do really all that often. So we'll kind of take a look and see what that walk, bike, or drive looks like here, and then get over into the nickel plate district and where the nickel plate amphitheater is. So there was the little drive from the Yard, Fisher's District, over here to the Nickel Plate District and the Nickel Plate Amphitheater, which is just over on the north side of where I'm standing. But this particular area is extremely walkable too. So this is the place where you're gonna have the farmer's market, you're gonna have the concerts. They have a couple different things that happen right through this particular area. They'll have Christmas lights. At Christmas time, there's usually a big Halloween festival. There's something called Spark, which is the big 4th of July festival. All through, it's kind of out right at the beginning of July, end of June through here. And they'll have a 5K and just a huge festival. Really, really cool. Most of that happens right in this area. But given that this is extremely walkable, the biggest complaint was that there just aren't that many restaurants or gathering places outside of what you have there at the amphitheater. Now just behind me, there's a breakfast place here, or lunch place too. It's another Broken Egg Cafe, which, that's not super unique. There are several of them around town, but it is here. And then just at the entrance up there off 116th Street is Luvino, which is a unique place here in Indy, but there are other locations outside of Indianapolis and outside of Fishers, but that's a really, really good restaurant. There's another one over here, a little taco place, and then Bricks Pizza, which has unfortunately struggled to stay open. But right here in this area, that's about it. So that's not all that much. Now, if I walk here a little bit further north, you can kind of see where I parked just in the video. Right here in this particular area, not a lot of parking here. So you'd have to drive around, try to find another parking place, or hit up the garage, which is just over to the east of me, the parking garage. And if you're rolling through here, you'd think on a really crowded day, like one of the concerts in the evenings through the week in the summer, that it would be difficult to park, but actually it's really not. It's not that hard to park. There's actually more parking than what you might think through here. So as I'm rounding the corner and going around the circle, I can now see where the amphitheater is just behind me. Back off there to the north, just by the huge flag. This area is a little bit more residential. You've got apartments, and if you get into, let's say, townhomes or anything like that owned, then you don't have quite as many options around in that respect. But if you get into some of the single family detached homes and all of that, there is a neighborhood, it's Sunblessed, just off to the north here, which has some smaller homes, and amazingly, it's one of the least expensive places to live in Fishers, although those prices are escalating very fast because all the development through here. If you get just a little bit to the south of me, then you can get into some more expensive new construction homes that are ultra contemporary and modern looking, and those things are $800,000-$900,000, but all within walking distance of this. So if you're looking for a place in this particular area where you can just walk right out the door where you live, that can get a little bit more difficult to do unless you're renting a place like some of these apartments here, or just you can see right here behind me, there are more apartments going in, just really in an awesome location, honestly. But as far as other restaurants are concerned, other places to go, just off to the east here, there are more places being put in. 4-Day Ray Brewery, which is an incredible building. It's such a cool place to go and a cool place to hang out. That's up there as well. We've got Handel's Ice Cream. There are some places, but the yard over there kind of takes care of a lot more of the need for more places just like that. But again, this is an exceptionally walkable area, this nickel plate district. In fact, that crane's pretty loud. I'm gonna walk back this way. You may not be able to hear me. Crane or whatever construction equipment's going on there. Again though, it's not exceptionally walkable if you are thinking about, living in super downtown urban Chicago, or a lot of places in a lot of boroughs in New York City, or even Los Angeles in a lot of places too. It's not gonna be that walkable. You're still gonna have to drive here, or watch these cars, or ride your bike to get to a place like this before you can actually get around and experience a lot of what this has to offer. But once you're down here, it's kind of neat. You know, if you're down here for a concert, down here for a festival or farmer's market or something, you can park and walk around and actually hit quite a few different places before you have to get back into your car and then drive off to wherever it is that you live, which could be 1 mile away, 2 miles away, or maybe up to 10 miles away or so. But after talking with so many people about Fishers and just the development of the downtown area, I think there's a little bit of a misconception as to just how walkable it is. So it's just with that caveat that you don't have that many options, not a ton anyway, for living really close by and be able to essentially go car free or very, very close to that, where you're not driving your car all of the time. The car culture in Indianapolis, in Fishers, in Carmel, in Noblesville, just about anywhere that you can possibly think of, it's big. You're probably going to need a car to really get around most places. So if you have questions at all about any more of the Fishers area, Indy Metro, anything like that at all, don't hesitate to reach out any ways you know how. And until the next one, we'll see you later.